Raila is not hungry for power, contrary to this narrative that has been created over the years, and I'm not his defender. I'm just analyzing this as a person who's been around politics for more than 20 years. All that I see Raila doing is very simple. Let us have a structured, systematic implementation, evaluation, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation of our socio-political economic structures. Look at what has been happening in corruption in Kenya. Today, Professor Manyora, if Raila had never gotten this handshake thing, we would be talking about Kenya is a country that is great, the projects of Jubilee are moving on correctly, Kenya is not into debt, or who's talking about Eurobond? Money was never stolen in Eurobond. Oh, who's been stealing these billions? Nobody has been stealing these billions. Raila has actually made Kenyans ask those questions and verify and confirm. Number two, what is so difficult with us having an IBC, which if that Raila decides to run, or even me, Professor Manyora, I'm dreaming of being president once.
Good luck.
The problem is, you see, right now, if I go and run for those elections, I can't win. Because the elections are either stolen, or I'm either misdeclared, or there's going to be a lot of issues, which then mean this country is always moving to the precipice. So my argument, the way I see Raila, is not because he wants to be president. Yes, he wants to be. But Raila's legacy is not wanting to be president, because he's always won the elections anyway. Now, the reality, my reality is, Raila is actually looking at this country and saying, what are the things which we can change, Dibal, and leave this country on solid ground, so that if he's not there tomorrow, Kenyans will say, here was a man who left as a country that was able to move on.
So is this for Raila's political experience? No. We have to go to Pogiso. No.
I was finishing.
No. Let's hear from... No.
Even the viewers will not like you,
just a moment. Let's hear from Pogiso.
Even the viewers will
No. Let's hear from Pogiso. Pogiso, please.
I think it's good to take a break from that provocation that comes from Professor. Dibal, I think if you look at the cartoon, it is actually putting the difference between the presidential system and the parliamentary system very clearly. You look at it.
Yes.
In the presidential system, as you look at it, the king is alone. The king is ahead of everybody else, very far separated by this long train. Everybody is behind the king. In the parliamentary system, as you can see, there are people in front of the king and there are people behind the king. At least this is more sharing and more proximity to the throne by more people. And I think that the cartoonist actually is trying to tell us that it is better to be under the umbrella of another authority. And by the way, to be president under that system, you're not only ceremonial. I mean, it is actually shared, power shared, because eventually when parliament doesn't approve a prime minister, it's the same king above, that authority. You can see there are two crowns. Anyway, I don't know whether the cartoon is still coming back.
Yeah, it is.
But you can see there are two crowns in the second picture, one above the other, and which means that at least this is a shared kind of leadership. The other one is, as you can see, the guy can do anything he wants. It's got, or is heading in the direction of his own, and the rest just follow. If he turns left. But in the second picture, if you look at it, there is checks and balances. There are people ahead of him. Now, the nakedness, by the way, is economic. It can be anything. Everybody is the same, but there's a difference. And I want us to look at the parliamentary system. As you can see in the system there,
yes,
the proximity to the leadership and accountability is very possible. The other one, there's no way. Nobody's talking to the king. The king is alone in that direction. The king it's both nakedness, but you can see there's authority above the king in the direction. Now, coming to the whole picture of putting the two people together, this is a legacy matter. And if it's a legacy matter, it will be good to have those two people, both Raila and Uhuru, to lead this in the legacy of the country. By the way, to try and bring a change so that now this country can have a system that brings everybody together, that shares power. Because it's a power sharing which has eluded us for long. And so this is what BBI, in my view, is going to.
Right.
Can I delve into it a bit, because I haven't spoken about it?
Let's hear from Muhammad, then we'll close it up.
I want to inform my very good friend, the son to the great Zachary Onyonka. This is Momoima, meaning an only child, the tough guy. I want to inform him. If you need somebody to tell you that Raila is great and how great Raila is, that man is called Manyora. Everybody knows it. I'll tell you, Raila is a great man. If you need somebody to confirm to you that Raila won in 2007, don't go beyond Manyora. I'll tell you that is true. If you need somebody to tell you that Raila has been the most wronged, I'm the one who will tell you. So you are getting me wrong. If you need somebody to tell you BBI is a good idea, again, that man is me. Actually, I started my YouTube channel in 2017 around October. The first thing I gave myself the task was to join anybody else, I don't know, there were other people perhaps, to tell Raila and Uhuru, if you people don't get together, this country will burn. So when 9th of March happened, again, if you want to find somebody who was happy, that man was me. But that doesn't stop people from reading that thing. These two people could be doing a good thing, but the man drawing the cartoonist is reading it and interpreting his own way and passing a message to Kenyans. That's what I'm trying to tell. He's telling Kenyans, look, this is not a very good man. He's not running a very good government. He's not been a very good president. Look, he's even naked. Look at the people around him. Those are his people. They go down there, so Pogisho. The people up in the presidential seat are the same people who are now holding a sort of umbrella for him. He's still in power himself. Nothing has changed. The same president who's not doing a good job, he now becomes the prime minister, still holds the power. He's not sharing it with anybody. The guys there who are holding that tray are the same guys who are now holding the crown, which has become now a sort of umbrella. Are you seeing anybody in that umbrella? He's still the same naked guy. The same guys who are propping him, supporting him. The deep state is still there. So in other words, the cartoonist is saying, you Kenyans, you are being fooled. You are being taken for a ride. Nothing is changing. It's Uhuru who wants to remain in power. Whether that is right or wrong is not for me to say now.
Right.
I'm only interpreting what the cartoonist is saying.
Jared, briefly before I take a short break, so we circle back with more on the dailies as well.
Well, I thank you. Listening to my friend, I'm a very good friend as such, Professor Manyora, spewing vitriol on my party leader. It reminds me of the words of a deranged loser. But he has not lost anything anyway.
But what vitriol has he spewed, really?
Well,
he just told you the reality of the ground.
We were here. I mean, we all listened to what he's saying. But this is a bigger conundrum. And what Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta would want to see is an eventual long-term solutions to the issues bedeviling us as a nation. We cannot run away from the fact that we have a subtle crisis in this nation. Mm-hmm. We have this bigger thing that needs a keen eye to discern, and which is about exclusion. Mm-hmm. This country is so divided. People are so excluded from positions of power. You looked at what the Public Service Commission gave as a very harsh indictment on government, that 65% of jobs in public service are occupied by 2 communities. Now, what a degree of exclusion for a country with about 44 different ethnic communities. So what Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are both trying to do, firstly, they have come to the realization and acceptance that something is going wrong in this country. Number 2, their founding fathers, those who laid building blocks of this nation, left a country, of course, as divided as we are today. But they are coming to turn back and say something needs to happen. I want to make it clear, just as my brother, Honorable Onyonka, has said, that Raila is not hungry to be anything in this country. I mean, this is somebody who has served as a prime minister, the top, a very high office in this country. He has been a cabinet minister in various capacities. So this is somebody who is known. I mean, he's known not just beyond Africa, but globally. I mean, this is a guy I have moved around with in the world, and I can see the kind of recognition that he receives each time we leave this country. So what they're trying to do moving forward, they are realizing that, of course, their time may come to an end politically, but what kind of a country are they going to leave to their heirs? They want a united, most prosperous nation moving forward. That is the quest that he's fighting for.
Right. And